Hello comic book junkies, it's the Frog Queen here, and today I'm bringing you my third interview from my trip to TCAF, the Toronto Comics Arts Festival. This interview is with someone I recently discovered through Kyle Stram, who you would most likely know from the Image Comics series Spread, Matthew Allison. I feel like I'm going to get a bit gushy here. I can't tell you how much I love this person's work. Oh my god. Matthew's work is essentially everything I look for in new comics. He has a very bold style, and his latest self-published comic book, Cankor, has the color palette which I think is basically pulled out of one of my dreams or nightmares, depending on how you look at it. You can buy the new Cankor comic book and shop for prints at cankorcomic.com. I had no idea that he was actually going to be at TCAF, and when I saw him and his table, I flipped out and started jumping up and down and being like, oh my god, I can't believe you're here, I'm so happy you're here, we gotta do an interview now. That's essentially it. Also, I will be covering Matthew's work quite extensively on my channel, as I am now the proud owner of all of his books, so keep your eyes peeled for videos on the Cankor Comics. Excellent. We are live.
Awesome.
So, we're here at TCAF. Yay!
Yes.
And you've got a table, and you are selling what?
I'm selling the first two issues of my new 4-issue series. It's called Cankor, Calamity of Challenge. The third issue will be out at the end of summer, and I've been talking to some publishers this weekend about a potential collection for 2018.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I want to see a trade for sure.
The collection will happen regardless, whether I publish it myself or I partner up with somebody. So we will see that for sure.
I found you through Kyle Stram on Instagram.
Okay.
And he just messaged me the day out of the blue, and he's like, "Have you seen this yet?"
Okay.
And I was like, shit, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, how have I not seen this?
Because I'm not good at marketing myself. I don't get my work out there. It's my fault.
Well, your artwork's fantastic, and of course Kyle kind of knows what I like from seeing everything that I post and I talk about, and I was just like, this is right up my alley. I love it.
Awesome.
So I feel like it should be like on Image. Like I'm just like, oh, it kind of reminds me of Image in a way, but
sure.
Is there particular publishers that you have your eye on? Do you have like kind of a plan?
I mean, I have submitted it to Image, and that route kind of confuses me sometimes because I've been told, there's really one way into Image, and that's Eric Stevenson. And getting a hold of him and getting his attention can sometimes be difficult, even if you know people like Kyle that are already doing work through Image. And I think, the book would fit in with what they're doing. I feel like that would be a good home for it. It's just a matter of finding that opportunity to get in there and pitch it to them. So I've done that. I did it with the first issue. Now that I have the second issue done, I'm just going to kind of hit them again and see what happens. So, as you said, the book's not super visible, and that's on me. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll post images and stuff, but I haven't really made an effort to put it in shops yet, but I'm going to rectify that here in the next couple months so that it's actually on shelves. It's hard to notice it if it's not on a shelf.
Can people order it online?
Yes, actually, it's cankorcomic.com, and the first two issues are available there. And I have original artwork that's for sale there as well. So every time I have a new issue out, it will be available at cankorcomic.com. Just click on the shop button. Yeah.
And I will actually give you more visuals of this audience, so that in the future too, I've shared on my Instagram a lot of your work.
Okay. This cover, just so everyone knows, is. See if I can remember how it fits together. Eventually, for all 4 issues, it's going to be one long image.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's one of those things I don't really tell people because I feel like if they just discover it on their own, they're going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that was the case. So, I try to throw stuff in there that would excite me as a reader to see something like that. Each issue I've got full color sequences for the majority of the issue, but what I do is throw in an autobiographical section that's in black and white, and it ties directly into the main story in a way. So it's things that happened to me in my 20s that kind of led to the creation of Cankor, just the development of my art. So that's primarily what I do, and I like to just have a cool looking book. I'm a huge art fan.
Temporarily interrupted. We'll get right back to what we were talking about. I'm actually just going to put my microphone on here. Oops, it's just not our fault.
And you may hear other I don't know who is that, Dave McKeon talking right now? Somebody else is talking about.
Is it Dave McKeon?
It could be. He was over there.
Oh, okay.
So we were just kind of talking about the what the story is. My intention with my comics is to always do something that can only be done in comics. I'm not someone who wants to turn my stuff into a TV show, and not that there's anything wrong with that, not that I wouldn't do that if it meant that I could continue doing comics. I want to have something on the page that is that utilizes the art form in a way that other media you can't. So that's the main goal, is to create something that can only be done in comic books.
Okay. Do you consider yourself more of an artist or more of a writer, or is it you're just smack dab down the middle?
No, I'm definitely more of an artist.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't script anything. Basically what I do is create images, particular pages that just kind of flow out, and I'm like, okay, where do I work a story around this particular image? Mm-hmm. So the one page I was going to bring up, I've got this mountain full of Batman corpses that Cankor is, as he's climbing the mountain, he ripped one of the heads out, and then it all collapses around him, and that image just came to me, and I was like, okay, what am I trying to do here? What does this mean? And the more I think about it in the context of the story, when I was a teenager, Batman Year One and Dark Knight Returns came out, and as anybody who read that when it first came out, it's just like, oh wow, that's amazing, he did that with Batman. So that was always my goal, and I think a lot of artists are like, you go on the internet now, you're going to find a million different versions of Batman. Everybody's got their own version. It's like, well, what does that add up to? You're not really creating anything. You're just adding to this big pile of a character that maybe you can't really do anything with anymore. Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of everybody's horror.
Exactly, yeah, in a way. When you walk by the table, I have a Batman image that I did, and I should have brought that with me. And I know that it's going to get people to stop by the table and look. If they're not necessarily interested in the stuff that I'm doing, they recognize Batman, but it's my take on Batman, just like everybody else has, and he has a bat nailed to his chest. I think that's relatively unique. I don't see a lot of people doing that. So. Yeah.
No, exactly. And I actually, when I first saw your Batman, which was on your Instagram, I was like, that's really different. Uh-huh. That's not this standard carbon copy Batman that we see so much right now from DC, which is just unfortunately very, very boring.
That new costume design, I guess they've had a couple in the last few years with all the piping and everything. I don't get it, but
it's just dull.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to do. Anyways, sorry DC. I don't like your choices. So, what's next for you? Like, how long has Cankor been in development for you?
It started out as a webcomic, and that was in 2011 that I started doing that, and that's when I first developed the character. And at the time I didn't have a set idea. I never sketched him out. I just drew a picture, and that was the first page of that webcomic. Mm-hmm. So the past 6 years I've been doing Cankor related stories. I'm kind of at a point now where I want to try to collaborate with people, which I haven't really done all that much of. So you mentioned Kyle earlier. He and I have been discussing the possibilities of working on a book together.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm gonna.
I love Kyle a lot.
Yeah, and he and I have a very similar sensibility, I think. So that could become something interesting. I talked to a couple other publishers about doing some short stories. I'm going to submit something to Heavy Metal.
Oh, that I recommend. Yeah. You know Enzo Garza?
Yes. Yeah.
They know Enzo Garza.
Of course.
Because I talk about him all the time. Ghost. Yeah, I can totally see that. Definitely in Heavy Metal, your work.
Well, and I never had considered it. I mean, I thought, maybe it would be, but then I saw Gut Ghost in there, and I was like, wow, they're kind of doing something different. And, you look at Heavy Metal in the 70s and 80s, and there was a certain aesthetic, and now they've kind of, and I mean, they've always kind of mixed things up. There's always been a variety of things, but in people's minds, I think they think of a certain thing.
And having Morrison involved now has definitely changed what Heavy Metal's direction is going in.
Yeah.
And I think for the good, because
I
they've
think
got
so, too.
some really great new talent in there that has been kind of hidden behind, barriers. And now I'm like, oh my God, I love these guys. They're finally getting some exposure they deserve,
Sure, and I think an anthology is a great way to do that. It's. I always hear anthologies don't sell all that well, but the people who buy them, I think, buy it for that reason. They want to experience different artists and maybe, discover somebody they didn't know about prior to that.
So I thought for some reason that just cut off, but this is my backup.
Okay, all right.
Backup audio.
Okay.
Yeah. Where else are you going in terms of festivals and stuff?
This year I'm kind of done. There's a convention in Wichita called AirCapCon in November, and I'm definitely doing that one. I just I need to get better at scheduling and saying, most conventions you sign up for the next year or apply the day after that year's end. So I need to just stay on the ball and get more lined up. So my hope is next year to do Emerald City again, Heroes Con. I had a pretty successful time at C2E2, and then do some of the smaller independent style like TCAF. Do maybe Cab, Cake in Chicago. So
nice.
I'm going to try to do at least 6 to 8 next year.
Wow, and that's a lot. That's almost like a full year of travel.
Yeah, definitely is.
Like once a month almost,
Yeah, it's hard. I met somebody at C2E2 said he did 24 conventions last year.
Wow.
Every other week. And but that's his primary source of income. He doesn't have a day job or anything. So
I guess if you can do that, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure it takes a toll though.
Oh yeah, he said he got burnt out. He's never doing that again.
Done for a while.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
just talking about your comic because I didn't even know you were going to be at TCAF. I just was walking by and I was like, no. Okay, what?
Oh, there you go. Nice.
And I was just like shocked. I was like, I'm so happy.
See, and that's the thing too that happens for me is I have a lot of people like, I had no idea you were going to be here, and I'm like, well, then that's my fault for not getting that out there. So.
Well, the list is daunting for TCAF. It's just enormous.
It is.
And you're like trying to go, and of course I recognize everyone's names, but it doesn't all stick because I'm just reading another name that I recognize right after.
Yeah.
It's like boom, 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 boom. So it gets really daunting.
For sure.
Yeah. I'll include all your information in the description of this video, below the video. Thank you so much.
Perfect. I appreciate it.